Welcome to our next Manna Kitchen. This is our November edition and we're doing In the Pink with lots of incredible antioxidant colour. So yeah, I'm Melinda and I'm passionate about making healthy food delicious, healthy plant-based food delicious. And all of the recipes that we're making tonight are 100% plant-based and also gluten-free. But they're delicious for anyone, regardless of what your dietary requirements are. So we'll be making an In the Pink pizza, we'll be making an In the Pink Nourish bowl, we'll be making pink hummus, we'll be making an amazing Greek salad that's actually based on watermelon. It's a minted watermelon salad, which is like my favourite at the moment. And we're going to make a blushing mango sorbet for dessert. And a bonus recipe at the end, which I've got friends here who are going to remind me to do it because I don't have a tray out for it. So maybe you guys need to remind me too if I forget right at the end. So yeah, let's get started. What I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to show you how to make the beetroot hummus. So this is an easy way to make pink hummus. And I love the flavour that beetroot gives. So these little beetroots here, I'm just going to use, you can use a fresh beetroot if you like. Here's a gorgeous little fresh beetroot, which I'm going to talk to you about later on. But these are just from Aldi. They're just vacuum packed, so they've been steamed and vacuum packed. They don't have any salt or any other sugar or anything else in them. Remember, sugar causes inflammation in your skin cells and it's like inflammaging. So sugar is not your skin's friend. If you want to age slower, avoid sugar. So no sugar in these. Tin beetroot will have sugar. So one of these, I'm just going to grab one of these here that I've already opened the packet of. So I've got 1 cup of just ordinary hummus. You can make your own or you can just buy it from the shops. Making your own is better though because then you don't get some of the additives that they put in. So 1 little beetroot, and we're going to also add a teaspoon of ground cumin. I just really like the earthiness, and this is actually quite sweet. It becomes really, really sweet. And that's it. That's all we've got in there. And we're going to make pink hummus. Hopefully, this is getting old and it made some funny sounds today. Hopefully it'll be okay. You can see that beetroot starting to come through. I'm actually going to put another one in because they're quite little ones. There we go. Let's put another one in. Make it even pinker. So yeah, if you choose the biggest one, sometimes they have only 3 in a packet. This one's got 4, so they're a little bit smaller. So how beautiful is that? Look at that colour. It's so celebratory. So these, all of these recipes are celebration food, so healthy celebration food. So at this time, I think you'll find that a lot of you are getting invitations to go to Christmas parties, and you'll be thinking about what can I take. Hopefully, I'll be able to show you some recipes here that you can take. Our watermelon salad would be my top pick for a shared lunch, something that you need to take along as a celebration food. So that's our pink hummus. I'm actually just going to spoon this into here because we are going to use it in a few of our recipes. So I'm just going to put it in here. And this will keep in the fridge for like a week. That will do, I think. So yes, I'm just going to leave that there for now. I'm going to give Heidi those little bits to put over the side. Thank you, Heidi. No, that can go as well. There we go. Thank you very much. So in the tahini that's in hummus, so if you make your own, you're actually going to end up with extra tahini, and I always use the unhulled, which is darker, a little bit more bitter, but it's much, much higher in calcium. And the sesame seeds are actually really high in a chemical called tryptophan, which is really important for mental health. It just boosts mood. So it's one of those little sesame seeds. Throw them in salads. But yeah, when you're using tahini, add a bit extra to your hummus. And yeah, it's really, really important. Dr. Neil Nedley talks about the importance of tahini and sesame seeds for mental health, for that tryptophan, which is a naturally occurring chemical that helps your mental health. Okay, Heidi, can I just get you to just duck that, put it underneath? Thank you, so it's not in the way. All right, what we're going to work on now is I am going to talk to you about, I think we'll start making our In the Pink Nourish bowl. So I'm going to put one of these bowls over on the side, like this. That's what we're going to put it in later. So this recipe makes 2 or 3 servings for 2 or 3 people. We're going to make our pink purple coleslaw first. So I've got 2 cups of purple cabbage there. So look at that gorgeous colour. Whenever you're choosing cabbage, go with purple because it's got so many more antioxidants in it than the white cabbage does. And you pay about the same price, so why not get more bang for your buck? All right, so I'm going to put 1 large grated carrot in there. I'm going to put, I think it's about half a cup of beetroot. So that's grated beetroot, and I'm just going to stir these through. And when I add my vegan mayonnaise to this, now I usually make my own mayonnaise. I've got a recipe that I love and I make it all the time. Thank you, Camilla and Joseph Scaff. They gave it to us. It's actually a Japanese recipe. Yeah, so they gave it to us quite a while ago and I use it all the time. But for the sake of demonstration, this is one that I quite like because when I look at the ingredients on the back, it's quite short. It's also, there's no added cane sugar in there, no added colours or flavours, and it's gluten-free. So I think I bought this one at Woolworths. It's always on a high shelf. The best foods are always on a high shelf or a low shelf. And of course the best foods in a supermarket are always going to be in your fruit and veggies and the extremities of the store. The closer you get to the middle, the less healthy they're going to be. So about half a cup of this. I've made a little bit of an extra large coleslaw here, so my carrot was very big. In. And as we stir this through, the beetroot is going to colour that mayonnaise a little bit, which will be yummy. I'm going to put a tiny bit more in there. So your recipes are always just suggestions. So just put in what you think it needs. I think one of those packets has about a cup. So you wouldn't need that much, but I already used this the other day. Okay, so there's our coleslaw. If you wanted to add some sesame seeds in there, actually, why don't we do that? We were just talking about sesame seeds and the tryptophan, which is so important for naturally boosting our mood and for our brain health. I am going to grab some sesame seeds. Where do I use sesame seeds? You're here somewhere. I saw you the other day. There they are. Okay, let's put some sesame seeds in. It's not in the recipe, but hey, let's boost our brain health by adding some sesame seeds. And hey, they look pretty, don't they? So we're going to put that to the side. And now we're going to come over and we're going to make our smoky Borlotti beans. Now I'm just going to check. I've actually got in here, I'm making steamed potato wedges. So I've used, this is a little bit of a smaller one. Don't peel your potatoes. Most of the nutrition in a potato is in the skin, and especially in a coloured pink one. Now that is soft enough. I'm going to turn that off. So I've had that in there just steaming in a steamer. Because when you steam potato, you actually keep all of the water intact. And I'm just going to toss some Macel chicken-like seasoning through there, vegan seasoning, and that will make them taste really yummy. But when you bake wedges, you actually remove the water from them. The water evaporates in the oven, and water will actually prevent you from eating too much. But you can eat a lot more baked wedges than you can steamed. I know they're not quite as yummy, but you also don't have the AGEs, the advanced glycation end products, which is like that browning. It's better for you to steam it. So that's what we're going to have soon. And I'm going to show you how we make the smoky beans that we're going to have in the pink Nourish bowl. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. and I'm going to add half a purple onion. And while that's browning, I just wanted to briefly talk to you about this very humble little beetroot. So, I mean, it looks very innocuous, doesn't it? I mean, it looks quite boring actually, but beetroot are amazing actually. They go that way, that's the root. This is where the greens come out, and the greens are really good for you too. So when you buy them with the greens and add that to salad. But in 2012, some of you will probably remember that the Olympics were in London, and there was actually a run on beetroot, because there had been a study that had been published the year before to show that the nitrates that are present in beetroot are incredibly powerful for blood vessel health. So they actually help your epithelial cells to be stronger, they open up your blood vessels, and it was almost like doping, but natural doping. That's what the study showed. So it supported exercise endurance because it actually allowed the blood vessels to carry more blood and allowed the red blood cells to carry more oxygen. So that would go to the muscles and help with endurance. A little beetroot. So apparently in 2012, around the time just before the Olympics and during the Olympics, you couldn't buy a beetroot anywhere. So yeah, beetroot are great. Really fantastic, and the colour is beautiful, and we're going to be using a lot of beetroot in a lot of our recipes tonight, even in dessert, because the colour is great. Alright, so I think that onion is just about there. Now I'm going to add in a little bit of, I think that's 1 tablespoon, could be 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. I'm going to stir that around. I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. I love smoked paprika. It gives everything great flavour. Not dessert, but great with beans. And this is a really, really simple beans recipe. I'm just going to throw the beans in now. And I'm going to put some pink hummus in, because pink hummus actually will add some colour. It'll add, like we were saying before, it'll add some tryptophan from the tahini paste. And now I'm going to put in our beans. So they've sort of got a little bit of a pink hue. Borlotti beans are beautiful. Love Borlotti beans. Yes, I know. The smell that you can smell is the smoked paprika. So that, I mean, that's hardly taken any time at all, has it? I just want those beans to heat through. They're kind of a bit more of an orange, aren't they? We'll call them a sunset pink. They're sunset pink. But yeah, beans are amazing. So in all of the longevity studies, the blue zones, every single blue zone around the world had some sort of beans in their diet. So black beans in South America, and soybeans and chickpeas for the Adventists in Loma Linda, and then they, black-eyed peas and chickpeas and Borlotti beans in Italy and Greece. So everyone, all of them, that was one thing that they had in common. I mean, other things as well, eating lots of plants. But I think that's heated through. But yeah, beans are super important. So get into the beans and just have them tinned. You can have them tinned, but just rinse them. Just rinse off those. There's always some extra salt in there and preservatives, but just rinsing them, will make them completely fine to eat, and it's so much quicker than having to soak them and cook them in a pressure cooker. Okay, so that is our beans done. I'm going to bring our wedges over this way. Actually, I'll bring them close to Jordan. Okay, so I have here, I should probably show you a little container. So this is plant-based. It's called Chicken Style Macel stock powder, and I use this quite a lot. So I may have cooked these a little bit tiny too much, but we put the wedges in there. I think they'll be okay. And I'm just going to put some of this Macel over the top. I'm going to toss that through, and then I'm going to stir it again. Where's my spoon gone? I had a spoon. So just tossing that through, just to get the flavours through. And they look like wedges. They will be a little bit softer than wedges, but they'll taste amazing. And like I said before, because we have water intact, we won't eat as many, and it will prevent us from overeating, which is always important. Always think about that. So steaming and broiling, you know, cooking on the stove top is always a better option than in the fry pan. In the oven. Okay, I think we're getting pretty close. Might give these to my friend Heidi. You guys, they're a little bit drippy on me. A bit hot. Are you okay? Okay, so let's bring all of these bits over where we can put them together. And I'll just make sure I've got everything here. So I'm going to put my brown and red rice. You know, it's sort of a little bit pink. I'm just going to give it about a minute in the microwave just to bring it back to hot. And the other things that we're going to add on here, we've got some radishes. Aren't they beautiful? Look at the colour. Once again, colour is so important. The brighter the colour, the higher the antioxidant levels are going to be. And there's heaps of radishes around at the moment, and they're quite, yeah, I quite like them. There's a bit of burn there, but not very much. It's a really nice crunch. And this Nourish, in the pink Nourish bowl, has lots of different textures. So it's really nice when you're eating to have a few different textures. Okay, that should be just about there. Just let me make sure I've got everything. Oh yes, we need some hummus. So we've got everything around us here to put in our little bowl. The recipe actually says 90 seconds, but I was not wanting to wait that long. So because it's pre-cooked, we're just going to put, and again, having some of that coloured rice in there will bump up our antioxidants as well. So this is a whole grain. So whole grains are great for our B vitamins, really important for our B vitamins. So I'm just going to put some rice in there, and my lovely friends at the table will be doing this for themselves very soon. And then we just layer around this, we just put in our other elements. So we can put in some pink potato steamed wedges. And we're going to, and I might just give Mark that now. Thank you, Mark. That can go over to the table. And we're going to add some Borlotti beans. Our sunset pink. It's a bit orange, isn't it? Now, if you're making it for more people, use 2 cans of beans. We're going to put in some of our in the pink coleslaw. Look at those colours, it's so great. And this is not hard. I mean, I'm making this from scratch, and it's really a very, very quick meal. And I'm going to put in some of these. So just, actually I might put this in first. Put this in first. So some pink hummus. It's really sweet. So having the hummus with the beetroot in it just really adds sweetness. And then just as a little, let me grab some parsley. So there we go, and then we just put a bit of that there. And it looks so good, doesn't it? And it looks very, very edible. Yes, Mark's going, that's mine, that's mine. But thank you, Mark. Yeah, and look at those colours. It's so, that's the thing we need to look at. When we look in a plate, when we look in a bowl or a plate, where's the colour? Where are the antioxidants? That's what we should be thinking all the time. Now let me just move all of these things, and we'll get on to our next recipe, which is our in the pink pizza. I'm going to just, where's my little sponge? I made a bit of a mess here on the bench. There we go. I might give, Mark, can I give you that? And I might give, yeah, could you take that one, Bocky? Thank you. One for you. Alright, we are on to In the Pink Pizza. Oh yes, you guys will need that too. Maybe leave me a little bit. I think I need a bit for another recipe, I'm not sure. Oh yes, and the rice. Julian's such a great cameraman. He's so multi-talented. He's, you know, passing the food and making sure I've got everything sorted. Alright, so we're going to start with a pizza base. Let me just check the one that's the oven. It's, you know, the trick of getting things done beforehand. I think that one's actually ready. So I'm going to turn that off and I'm going to leave it just like that. So this is just a classic made in Italy pizza base. But I actually like to make my own pizza bases, gluten-free pizza bases. I'm not going to demonstrate that tonight. I've demonstrated it another time. I think it was 2 years ago. I demonstrated that, but I'm going to add the recipe. The gluten-free pizza base recipe makes two. So you make the dough and then you split it and you just push it out. Just push it out a lot when you do the gluten-free recipe, because if the dough is too thick, like I did for Julian the other day, he said it was just a bit too thick. So push it out, just keep pushing it out. So this is just an ordinary everyday one, not gluten-free. What we're going to do first is we're going to make, so once again, beetroot hummus, that lovely colour. We're making our pizza tomato sauce base at the moment. So there's some tomato sauce there, there's some garlic, so there's three crushed garlic and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil. I know I'm always banging on about extra virgin olive oil, but please don't be deceived. I was very cranky. I was in Woolies the other day and it was the closest I have come in a long time to wanting to knock things off shelves and have a little hissy fit, because I saw in a tin that looked like an olive oil, 3-litre tin, canola oil. What did they say? Cold pressed extra virgin canola oil. What rot! Canola oil is not good for you. It is not a healthy option. Olive oil is the way to go. Yes, it is getting a little bit more expensive, but this is your health we're talking about. This is much cheaper than buying medication or having a heart attack. So avoid the cold pressed extra virgin canola oil. It's rubbish no matter what they do to it. Make sure you use extra virgin Australian cold pressed olive oil. Okay, I've had my little rant. I had a hissy fit after all. There you go. I was so cranky, so cranky. Yes, it's all about education. We all need to remember what things are really good for us and not fall for those marketing ploys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's now this is enough to do 2 bases. So look at that. Oh, yum, 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 yum. Lots of olive oil in there. Spread this around on my pizza base, and you can use whatever toppings you like. The toppings that I'm putting on tonight are just some favourite ones, pink favourite ones. Okay, leave that for the next one. I'm going to put a handful of rocket. So greens are incredibly important. Of all of the food that we can eat, gram for gram, they are the highest nutrition value, green leafy vegetables. So sneak them in wherever you can. So I'm just going to put those rocket leaves there. You could use spinach if you liked, baby leaf spinach, or you could use parsley, but I think rocket's nice for this. It has that nice little bite. Now, something that Heidi and I were just raving about a second ago is this product here. So this is vegan feta cheese, and it's so creamy and it's so delicious. And when I read the label on the back, it actually doesn't have that many ingredients, which I'm happy about, because a lot of vegan, like plant-based replacement meats, replacement cheeses, when you read the label, there's an awful lot of ingredients. So, and some of them look a bit chemically. Yes, Mark has a question.
Where can I find this on the shelves?
This is in Woolworths, okay? Sometimes in Coles, sometimes they sell out. Heidi and I get very excited when there is a 50% discount and we buy
flowers.
Yeah. So we're the flower. Well, not everyone's Woolworths, obviously, but in Byron Bay, the fridge end of the flowers. Yeah. So I'll give that to you, Mark. You can have that.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's very yummy. So a nice little trick that I'm going to do is so that's been cubed. So that's half a packet. Because I used the other half on the one that's in the oven. And just put my cubed beetroot. So that beetroot is just this one here. That beetroot there. That's all I've done. I've just cubed it and I'm just going to put it in. And I can hear people saying, but can't I use the tin stuff, you know? But remember, the tin stuff has added salt, added sugar, added vinegar, and we're wanting to reduce our sugar or avoid it because we don't want inflammaging, do we? We do not want inflammaging. Inflammation that sugar causes that ages our skin. It actually binds with our elastin fibres in our skin and collapses them. So that's wrinkles actually. So you don't want that. Now look how lovely and pink our feta is going. So I'm just going to put that over the top here. I'll spread it out. So just spread it out nicely. I have got clean fingers, everyone. Although this one's one that Julian will eat later, so hey, he won't mind if my fingers get it. Okay, so a bit more beetroot there.
So good, mate. It's a hard life.
Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying this, Mark.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is a bit expensive, the vegan feta. It's like $9 when it's not on sale. So when it's on sale, stock up. It's got a good use by date on it.
Looks amazing.
Yeah. Now it doesn't have the melty cheese. Now we're going to add a little bit of purple onion. It's the onion getting in your eyes, my love. I can see him rubbing his eyes. Poor thing. Bit of purple onion. I mean, you can chop this fine if you like, or you can just use these little half moon shapes. And some pine nuts. Yum! Pine nuts are so good. Pine nuts are our friends. Any nuts are our friends. They actually, the fibre in nuts and the healthy fat, the omega-3s that they have, actually dampen the effect of like carbohydrates and for people who have got diabetes, having nuts in with your meal will dampen that sugar spike of carbohydrates. So good trick to know. I think that's all we're going to. I like to add a little bit of extra olive oil at the end. So just put some of that on. Love it. Look at that. How beautiful is it? Now, it won't be quite as pink out of the oven because it's a bit toasty. Oh no, hang on, there was one more thing. Where did I put my... Because I love smoked paprika, a little bit more smoked paprika over the top. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, in the oven for, I think it's 15 minutes. 15 to 20 minutes. So a pretty hot oven. And this one I may have left in just a little bit too long. So I'm going to turn this on. Maybe at the end I'll be able to show you one that hasn't been left in too long. But it will still be very yummy. And the... Let's go 20 minutes. Okay. Chopping board. So the feta's actually melted a little bit. It doesn't usually melt that much. And the rocket usually is a little bit greener, but this will be very yummy. Okay. So this is the gluten-free base. So Heidi will be happy. Heidi and I are gluten-free queens. Yes, it looks a little bit pinker when you don't overdo it, but this will be nice and crispy. You can see that the beetroot's bled into the white feta cheese. And if you aren't, if you don't mind having a bit of normal feta, it will be a bit cheaper. And white cheeses are much better on your gut than like the harder yellow cheeses. So.
Interesting knife for a plant-based kitchen.
Oh yes, I know. I should make a. So this is from Julian's parents, when they were they vegetarian when they used to have this knife? No, maybe not. Probably not.
A meat cleaver.
He is a meat cleaver. But when they became vegan, they kept it and they used it for bunya nuts. So there you go. So it can be used in a vegan kitchen after all. But it does look a little bit scary, and it does live deep in my drawer, so that if someone breaks into my house, they won't find it easily. Julian's here anyway, and he'll look after me. All right, so that's our pizza. I'm going to hand it over to Mark, who is drooling.
I'm really comatose.
All right, I'm going to hand this over to Heidi, this little mess. Oh, we're doing great. Our time's going so well. Okay, so now we are going to do this amazing salad. Your favourite, yes. So watermelon has an enzyme in it called tyrosine, and tyrosine is also a naturally occurring chemical that Dr. Neil Nedley, who is he's a trained doctor, but his special interest is in mental health and depression recovery. He runs depression recovery courses. They're international. You can do them online, or you can go to Weimar where he is and actually do them in person. I think they're 10-day and 2-week programs. But yeah, he's all about the link between food and mood. So watermelon is one that he encourages because of the tyrosine content. Let me have a look. It improves our mood and mental clarity, increases energy levels, and it may even improve your blood pressure for some people. So, and we all love watermelon after all. Look at that colour, beautiful. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a bunch of parsley.
Terry's watching, so you should tell her to come over.
Terry, if you're not in your pajamas, come over and have some food, darling. Terry gave me, I love her mint. She has the most incredible mint bush. It's just wild and mad, and it grows incredibly, and I'm always over there sneaking mint, so thank you, Terry. Love this. We're going to use some of your mint in this salad. Now, I'm just going to give this a quick rinse. Parsley sometimes has a bit of sand in it, so we're just going to rinse that. Now, often when we do parsley, we chop it fine, but for this one, we're actually using this as a salad green. So, I'm just tearing it. I have to thank Nigella for this recipe. I found this recipe online a few years ago, actually. Let's not put too many sticks in there. And it's so good. She says this is kind of a version of a Greek salad, except you're replacing your tomato and your cucumber with watermelon. And it's just like the combinations in this are just amazing. So let's just put lots of this parsley in here. I love parsley because it's really high in iron, and in order for iron to be absorbed, we actually have to have vitamin C, consume vitamin C when we're eating iron. So you know how it boosts when they used to do their green, I don't think they do their green shots anymore, barley green shots, but they'd always give you like a little piece of orange. That's because you can absorb the iron in the wheatgrass so much quicker and better if you have vitamin C present. And parsley has vitamin C in it. It's high in iron and it's high in vitamin C. Right, so we're just going to toss that all over there like that. Now we're going to put about 750 grams of, what is that? See, I told you there's dust on parsley. I thought I got rid of it, but anyway, let's get rid of that. Sorry, terrible. Okay, so now 750 grams of watermelon. I've kind of cut it into little triangles. It's kind of more fun to eat that way. So just put it all over here. Look at those colours. Oh my goodness, they make me happy. Okay. Now we're going to put on some, so these are Kalamata olives that are pitted. Make sure you buy pitted because it takes a long time to take the seeds out. I once bought a 3-kilo jar in Aldi of Kalamata olives, and I was so excited until I realised all 3 kilos were not pitted. So it took me a long time to get through those, and I always look for pitted now. And Kalamata olives, I mean, apart from having this beautiful colour, they just have a really, really lovely flavour. A whole lot better than Spanish black olives that you can buy, which are sort of a bit more like cardboard, aren't they? Because they use chemicals to actually make them go black. They pick them green and then use chemicals to make them go black. Okay, so we've got about half a cup of Kalamata olives, and we're going to put in Terry's mint. Thank you, Terry. So the mint and the watermelon together is so good. And this, I love, this is such a great trick. So this is half a red onion, so, you know, just your everyday normal one of these, that has been, I think I've got dirty fingers from all of my parsley, that has been soaked overnight. I think I just say an hour, but the more you soak it, the deeper the colour comes, and it gets softer too. So it's been soaked in lemon juice or lime juice. I actually soaked this in lime juice. So limes are very expensive at the moment, I know, but a good idea is that when they're cheap, or when you've got a friend who's got limes on, juice them and put them in the freezer. So this lime juice came from the freezer. So, and look at the colour. Nigella just goes ape for this colour, but isn't it gorgeous? It's so beautiful. These little pink tendrils. I think she calls them puce tendrils. So,
that's your vitamin C.
Yes, there's vitamin C obviously in the juice. So, and the great thing about doing this is that the bites that we often have in onion, I mean, red onions, Spanish onions are not as not quite as bitey as like your normal white or brown onion. And look at the colour, so pretty. So I'm going to get a spoon, and I'm going to spoon. Actually, I'll do that in a minute. Now this, we're going to use feta again. So this is the feta again, and I have in this feta, I like cutting it into little triangles. And the way I do that is you cut it down to, you know, something like this, and then you just cut triangles like this. So again, they're just interesting in your mouth, just a little bit more interesting. So then we're just going to put this over like this. And the beautiful salty smoothness of the feta with that, with the mint and with the watermelon. Oh, this is just an amazing salad. This one would be my pick if, you know, if you've got an event and someone says, hey, could you bring something along? Bring this, and they will be impressed. But if I were you, I would, you know, keep it all separate. Take it along in a little esky, all separate, and then put it together on a nice tray. Okay, so now we're just going to dribble some of this over. Bit of extra. So this is the lime juice that has that beautiful pink colour from the onions. And of course, always a little bit of olive oil. Just a sprinkle. Yum. Whoa. Don't eat all of it. I want some at the end. Mark's like, no. Okay, let's move all these bits. Hang on, one more little bit. Oh, where's my little... keep making a terrible mess of my kitchen bench. Okay. So, Mark, you can take that now. Just leave me some. Yes, thank you. Mark's reminding me of something that I asked him to remind me of, and I'm very appreciative. That bench probably looks very dirty now. So we are heading over to my machine over here. I have to tell you a story about this machine. So this Kenwood Multi-Pro, Julian bought me one of these about 5 years ago for Christmas, and I love it because you've got a jug and you've got this, and then there's a smaller bowl that you can put inside if you just want to make a small amount of anything. But it died. My machine died, and I was so sad. It died on a Thursday. And anyone who knows me knows that I've always got orders towards the end of the week, you know, from Manna Haven desserts to little cafes around here who order from my son's business, Bake Love, gluten-free vegan dessert. So yeah, always have lots of those towards the end of the week. And then I had a whole lot of food to do for our community lunch, and it died. I was so upset. And the sad thing is that if you order online, which is the cheapest place to get them, about $500, and it wouldn't come for about a week, and I needed it so bad. And when I got online, they don't have mine anymore. They have a new one, a new updated one. But what I wanted to keep my old bowl and jug, so that when I'm doing a cooking class like this and I've got to use 2 bowls for different recipes, I can just switch them out. So, said a prayer, was feeling very sad, wondered if maybe Facebook Marketplace might have one. And praise the Lord, Helen, I sent you a link to this cooking class tonight, and if you're watching, hello to you and to the puppies and to your mum. Thank you so much for putting your machine on Facebook Marketplace. She had just listed it, and Damien, who's another friend of ours, lived not far from her, and I got it within less than 24 hours. Damon went and picked it up from lovely Helen. Thank you, Helen, $150. She was so sweet to offer it for that. She'd only used it a couple of times, and Damien brought it back for me the next day, and he gave it to me. It was a gift. So I was like, oh wow, I felt so blessed on so many levels, and I just really felt like God cares about the details of our lives, even the little details, like a food processor. Who would have thought? And I've got here just a little reminder. This is actually the only part that broke in the last one, and the whole machine was rendered useless because of that little part. It's very sad. It's a throwaway society, but at least I kept the spare jug and the bowl. Now we're going to make our blushing mango sorbet, which is a very, very yummy way to eat mango. And light cheese, we're going to use light cheese in this. Now this is 500 grams of mango that has been, so it's frozen, just from Aldi, just a packet from Aldi. If you've got mango trees and they're fresh mangoes, freeze those, they'll be even yummier. But that's 500 grams, and I've actually had that sitting in the fridge for about half an hour, just because my machine prefers when it's a little bit softer. So that's a little bit softer now. So I'm just going to put that in there like that. Our mango. There we go. And I'm going to put in, I took a few lychees out, and because I've got extra, I've got an extra tin there that I can share with my friends, but keep some aside as a garnish. So I've got some of those aside, and I've drained it. So I don't want all the juice because there is some sugar in this. So, but we're not going to use very much of it. So putting all of the lychees in here. So that's going to provide our sweetness. I've got 2 tablespoons of the liquid that I took out before I drained it. So 2 tablespoons there like that. A tiny bit of lychee skin there. I'm going to put in half a teaspoon of cardamom. So everything tastes good with cardamom. So half a teaspoon. Well, not everything, but I put it in a lot of my sorbets. So half a teaspoon of cardamom. Just has a really lovely, I don't know, just a really unusual flavour. Now, the thing that I'm going to put my gloves on for, so I don't look like I've murdered someone, is because I've got a quarter of a cup of beetroot juice, and I'm actually going to use the juice to colour our mango sorbet and make it into a blushing mango sorbet. So,
Are any of these from Sorbet?
no, but I'm still using a book, and it is still fabulous, and if you don't have one yet, you should definitely get one. So this is especially cooking to prevent and treat diabetes. Manna Haven sells them, so if you're passing through, you can get a very good deal at Manna Haven. So great book, love it, love it, love it. Okay, now, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this. This is very messy, that's why I've got gloves on. It doesn't matter if a little bit of the beetroot goes in, but I'm just going to squeeze that juice out. How beautiful is that colour? I love the colour. There we go. Take my gloves off. So I have clean fingers, except for that bit. Hand this over to my lovely friend. Thank you. Okay, now we are going to blend. Get this out of the way. Alright, now it might be a bit jumpy to start with. But thank you, Helen, for my beautiful machine. I think of you every time I use it. Okay, let's go. Oops, I'm going to click it first. Should have squeezed it a little bit longer. I'm actually going to grab. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of the juice out of the bottle. Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit more. It's not quite as red as my one that I did the other day. Heidi, can you? Oh no. When I made this the other day, I squeezed and squeezed and squeezed, and I haven't squeezed as much as I want to. So I'm going to.
Do you want the feature back?
Yeah, I'm going to just have dirty fingers. So yes, just need as much juice as we can possibly get. Oh, come on. I think maybe the beetroot that I used the other day was juicier, because it gave a really, really lovely pink colour. This one just looks a bit orange. Alright, now I do have red hands. That's okay. So much for that, hey. Right, let's go again. It's a bit better. Alright. So, these plates are cold. I've got them out of the fridge. I'm just going to put a couple of scoops. And then I'm going to put a couple of light cheese. And a little sprig of mint from Terry. Thank you, Terry. There we go. And that is our blushing mango smooth sorbet, which is so easy. Okay, Mark. There you go. I shall hand this over with the cold plates. Okay, now I'm not going to forget. Thank you, Mark, for not letting me forget that there is one more thing that I want to show you with a cold plate. I'm going to grab my cold plate. Actually, I think I left the cold plate in the freezer. I'll be right back. I've got to go and get something from the freezer. Julian can zoom in on an ingredient or something.
A lobster cabbage. I don't know if anyone can hear me, but that cabbage really looks like the lobster. All right, Mark's brought this back. Ta-da! Well, it's starting to melt. You better eat it. Have you got a spoon? Are there spoons on the table? Mark's taking over the kitchen.
Oh, that's Mark. The last one.
Were there not enough spoons, Mark?
I'm just hitting for a lady.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Pizza.
oh, that's a bit better. Oh.
Yeah, well, that's all that can go over. You need it fast because it'll melt.
Okay, the other pizza is done. Hopefully this one didn't get cooked quite as much as the last one. Yeah, this is a bit better. There we go. So that's a bit more like what I wanted it to look like. Okay. I have found myself without a little bowl. Hang on, let me grab one of these.
There you go, here.
This is, you know how every time you have any sort of a fruit platter, you always end up with leftover watermelon at the end. This is watermelon. These are watermelon bayonets that I've actually frozen. Never heard watermelon make that sound, did you? So I've frozen the little bits of watermelon like this, and I want to show you one of my new favourite products, soy products, and this is it here. So this is Vitasoy's Greek style hint of lemon soy yogurt. It's so yummy. I'm going to grab one from the fridge. So what we do, I think I need a bigger bowl. Alright, let me just rinse this one. There we go. So we're just going to get this. So I much prefer vegan yogurt that's based on soy because it's much less lower in calories and much higher in protein than the coconut ones. I know the coconut ones have taken everything over by storm, but this one is a whole lot better. The flavour is so good. It actually tastes like lemon cheesecake. I love it. So yummy. I want them to make it in the big 400 gram tub, but they don't yet. Right, so I'm just going to put that and lick the spoon. Yum. I'm going to put a little bit of this. Just a little bit of lime zest over the top, just to make it pretty. And then because this has been in the fridge, it's nice and cold, and these will not. Sorry, well yes, you can have it in the fridge or freezer, but I have actually had it in the freezer, so the watermelon sticks won't melt too quickly. And how yummy does that look? And I actually grabbed this recipe. I'll put a little bit of this in. I grabbed this recipe from one of the Woolies. You know the free Woolies? Here it is. One of the free Woolies, what are they? You know, just like the recipe books that they put out once a month. I saw this and they said to just do it with vanilla yogurt, and I thought I can go one better. I'm going to do my favourite Vitasoy hint of lemon yogurt, which is, you have to try it. It's really good. Not every shop will have it, so shop around. But here in Byron, Woolies always has it, except if I've been and it's on sale and I've bought 6. Okay, so what do you think, Jules? A bit cold for you?
A little bit cold.
Yeah, Julian's teeth don't like cold, so. Yum. I'm not double dipping. I'm using the other end. Mark. In case you were wondering, not double dipping. Yum. Okay, I shall hold this while I chat to you briefly. So, lots and lots of options for your upcoming events. Like I said, in the pink celebration food. I hope that one of these at least has inspired you, if not all of them. And we're like 5 minutes early and we did 6 recipes, so they're very quick recipes and they're really tasty. And yeah, I just want to wish you a very happy Christmas, and I hope that you find lots of opportunities to be blessed, but also to be a blessing. Look for ways that you can cheer people up and make Christmas extra special for someone else, like bringing them a minted watermelon salad. That'll bring joy. Okay, so I will see you next year, probably end of January, and by then we're probably going to need some foods that are a little bit cleansing after our all of our celebration. So yeah, I'll see you in January. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.